All right, everybody, welcome into our Wednesday webinar. Excited to be here. Really, really good topic today. Last week we talked, if you guys recall, we talked about land, not really any set type of land or anything there. This week we are talking specifically about comping land in non-disclosure states. We'll talk about all what that is, how to do it, obviously. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Oh, we're doing the non-disclosure states. We end up doing that? That's great. Can you hear me, Ron? You're kind of lagging there.
Yeah, let me fix. Hold on. I had my wrong input. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, all good. Welcome in, guys. Excited to get back to it. Yeah, like Ron said, last week we comped land in just standard states, and then we got the question a lot in the chat, how do you comp in non-disclosure states? So today we're going to be talking about that, kind of going over the same methods we're going over today, but obviously in a non-disclosure state. So excited to get into it, guys. Let's get a question of the day up, Ron.
Let's do it. All right. Let me think. I should think these before, but I kind of like it on the spot. All right.
What do we question of the day.
I like getting a gauge of the audience, Dan.
So we're talking about non-disclosure states. Let's think of a question regarding that.
I don't think it has to be around that necessarily.
Let's see what the chat's saying here. We got chat opened up. Where is the chat? They changed it on us?
Same from my end. Let's see, Tony from Texas. People are trickling in here, guys. So we will get started here in a few minutes doing comping land in non-disclosure states. We'll talk about what that is.
Yeah, that's probably foreign to some people who haven't been in this business a little bit, but essentially what we're doing is there's how many states? 12, Ron? 12 states?
I don't know exactly, honestly.
How many states are non-disclosure? Let's see.
Boomer Ed, we'll talk about that. Let's just get
12 non-disclosure states. Rhode Island. Is Rhode Island one of them, really? No, it's not, is it? I didn't know that. I guess I haven't done much business up there, but I don't see the Rhode Island on the list. Rhode Island is a disclosure state. Alaska, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Mexico, North Dakota, Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. And we'll get into the details, guys. Bear with us. We're letting people trickle in here. We'll get started here in a moment, but excited to get back to it, guys. What's your guys' experience with non-disclosure states? Even if you
I'm just asking general experience level, Dan, in this question.
Okay.
Question of the day. What is your, I forgot the right question of the day, but it's fine. You guys can answer that. Question of the day. What is your land flipping experience level 1 through 10? 1, this is basically your first time hearing about it. 10 is obviously an expert. 1 through 10, your land flipping experience, your land investing experience, probably a better terminology than land flipping.
Yep. Let's do it. And if you guys have questions that come up or comments, put them in the chat, but respond to this in the chat as well. We'll get started, guys. Yeah, Illinois is one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Some are like optional though, Ron, right?
Some have some counties, not optional. Some counties are, some counties are not. Missouri is one that some counties are, some counties aren't. Kansas might be one of those.
We're getting it in.
Scale of 1 to 10, your experience level in land investing. A lot of ones coming in, some 2, 6.5, Mr. Chuck, 3, Derek Foster. Love it. I want to see some answers in here, guys. It really helps us gauge the experience level of the audience and help us going forward to provide as much value as possible.
DJ Destroy. He's on a hot streak. He's in here every week.
Very consistent. I love it.
Experience in wholesaling properties. Yeah, that's similar. You'll pick up on this quick, Matthew, if you got experience in that. It's not too much different there. All right, let's get into it here, Ron.
I think examples are going to be the best for today, Dan, but let's first talk about what a non-disclosure state is. Cheryl 9, love it. Because I think that's kind of where we need to start as far as like, okay, we're talking about comping land in non-disclosure states. Maybe it's a confusing thing for people who put one in there. It's probably like, what the hell is that? Which is fine. So what a non-disclosure state is, it might be easiest to show, honestly, Dan. But what a non-disclosure state is essentially is a state that does not publicly disclose the sale prices of real estate in general. So you have Texas, Kansas, Missouri, Dan said Illinois, I think Alaska's one, Montana, I believe. So you have these different states that as a state, for the most part, there are a couple that it's county level, but as a state, for the most part, they do not tell you what properties sell for. And that can be a real, you see the topic of the today, comping, predicting the prices of land, a specific piece of land, when you don't know what has sold around it. It can be difficult. So we're going to talk all about that today.
Yeah, non-disclosure, like you don't need to disclose the sale price. That's really all it is. So we can keep it pretty simple there. We can show up examples, Ron, but I want to walk through that. Last week we walked through 3 different ways to do it. I think we followed the lead with that because we got a lot of good feedback. We can show examples first, and then let's show how we'll do it, the 3 steps that we did last week, except for the non-disclosure side.
So real quick, just Ohio. So you type in Ohio. I don't care about any of the data on here, but you type in Ohio, you see on Zillow, it's on a public site, obviously, sale prices. This is what property sold for. You type in a state like Texas, and we're going to see a bunch of dashes. So you go into these properties, and again, obviously we're talking about land today. This is a house. It doesn't matter in terms of that. What you see is the last list price. So you'll see this is not what the price it went pending for. This is just what it was listed for when it went pending. Listed for sale. They dropped the price. It went pending 2 days after they dropped the price. We do not know what it went pending for. We do not know what it sold for. All we know is essentially the last list price. Okay, let's get into it, Dan.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said that's the data we're going to have to use in today's demo.
Exactly. So let's get to it, Dan. So you said you want to go, let's go Texas. Yeah. I like Texas. We'll go like rural-ish Texas, couple counties outside of Austin, some good land. But again, non-disclosure state. So I'm on Land Portal. There's a free trial in the description if anybody is interested. I think it's the first link in the description. But let's find a piece of land that we are going to try to comp. Like Dan said, we are going to comp land. I'm actually going to search. Let's find out what county we're in so we can actually show a couple things. So we're in Llano. You can see in the top right. I think that's how you say it. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys.
Llano County, Texas.
So we're in Llano County, Texas. I'm just going to find a 5-acre property or something. So let's go to Texas. I'm going to go to Llano County. We're going to find a property we are going to comp out. All right, Llano County, Texas. And I'm going to do vacant lots. So I'm searching here on Land Portal, 4.8 to 5.2. Actually, let's go 5. Let's just get a 5-acre property, 5 to 5. We're just looking for a 5-acre property to comp. I'm going to do landlocked no, and we're just going to hit apply. All right. So it's got all these on the map. Let's find a property that makes sense for us. This one's got river frontage, so I kind of want to ignore that. That's probably not the best. It's an outlier, if that makes sense, guys. Like we don't want to really worry about outliers. Let's look for a pretty normal property. It's got a lot of road frontage. I want to look for something that's relatively normal. Hold on. I'm going to take off the owner names here. Okay, perfect. All right, so we got a property right on a state highway. I'm going to pull this details up in Land Portal. We can see it is 4.99. It is 5 acres, sorry. Calculated by the boundary is 4.99. 5 acres, Llano County, Texas. We see all the information on this. So we talked, like you said, a few different spots. So what Land Portal has within it, Land Portal has a custom AI comp report. And we talked about this last week when we were comping normal, and it can do the same thing. And we'll talk about that. So that's the first place we're going to go, right, Dan?
Yeah, we'll go. So the first step, we're going to do this 3 different ways to comp, right? And when we're comping properties, we do all 3 of these. It's not pick one or the other. It's like, here's one check, number 1, here's another check, and then the third and final. So it's not just a one solution all, but this is a great way to start is the AI comp report. Ron's going to pull one up here. So in non-disclosure states, we get the question, like, how's it work if it doesn't have the sale price? That's the tough part. So what we do have, we got to work with the data we have, Ron. So the data that we do have is we have the date it was listed and then all the activity between that and selling. And then you can see the listing price as well. And any price drops when it listed. So that's the data we have to work with. It's just like you're comping on Zillow. You have to look at the last list price. And our comps aren't a 1-to-1 ratio with the last list price. The comps that it's using in the AI report are going to be a percentage of that, because we know in general that properties, I think last year for land nationwide or in Georgia and a few other states we tested, the listing price to sell price was, I think, like a 10 or 12% difference. I can't remember the exact numbers, but from what the price it was listed at to the price it sold at was about 10% under, right? The last list price to the sale price. So we use different formulas based on that data that we did nationwide. So it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's factoring in like the days on market, how long it took to sell, the price, a bunch of different things, right? And then it will come up with the answer. So we're using all the data that we have for the comp report, Ron.
So I'm gonna hit reports at the top, AI comp report, and you can name it whatever. We're just gonna keep it naming the parcel ID essentially. So essentially what this does on Land Portal, like Dan says, it is going to come up with a price prediction. And we are going to use this as a tool when our goal with this 30 minutes we have is to find the best prediction of price for this parcel we have right here. There's different tools, there's different strategies. So we're going to get all into that. So what I'm going to do on the left side, I am going to hit comp reports, and I'm just going to open this in a new tab. If you want to ask questions throughout this, guys, please put your questions in the chat. We will get to them. I'm going to save them so I make sure I get to them.
Yeah, we'll get to all questions, guys, for sure.
All right, cool. So we're going to pull up this comp report again. This is for this 5-acre property. It is using AI to kind of look at nearby data, look at current listings, look at things that sold. But again, like Dan said, like we've said today, the gap with non-disclosure states is we do not know what the property is actually sold for. So at the top, we just have a bunch of the property information, nothing as far as the AI pricing. As we scroll down, it's telling us like, okay, what's the lay of the land? And you can actually see some lay of the land information up here, wetlands coverage and FEMA coverage. And then we have slope on the right side and this slope analysis here as well. As we scroll down, don't worry about this number in terms of price estimate. We are going to worry about the TLP estimated price, which it is saying it believes this property is worth $153,000 and change, which comes out to about $30,600 per acre. So a lot of people are like, okay, that's great, especially in a non-disclosure state. Awesome. That's amazing. But that being said, like, where is the data coming from? What's quality of data? What kind of data points are these coming from? So now it has what it calls similar plots, similar pieces of land that have sold. Again, we don't have the exact sold price. It has the last list price in terms of the data within there. All right. It pulled, and it's going to rank these from the most important comp in its mind, number one, to the least important comp based on what it's looking at, and it's going to weigh them differently based on size, acreage, location, some other factors as well.
Yeah, but it's going to put weight on them. Sometimes it'll put 90% on comp one if it's a really, really good comp. We can't really tell what the machine learning is doing every time, but what we can say is it looks for the most similar distance, the closest property, the same zip code, the same school districts, the same date, last sale date's really big. You see that one was in a lot of these comps on here are really old. That one was just in March. It was the most recent one on this whole list, I think. But it looks at things like that last sale date, price, all this different stuff, and it ranks them.
How fast it sold, days on market. So a lot of different data, which I like. Where do we go from here, Dan, in terms of like what should someone's confidence level be in this? Do we take it further? Do we look into each comp individually and see what actually happened?
No, I wouldn't look into each comp right now individually. I would go back and we have that number 30K an acre in our head right now, just about, right? That's a data point in our mind. I think we go back to the property page on your top left tab, Ron, and we're going to go now to step 2, which is hit the reports button. See that there, guys? And then hit market comps. So this is going to pull up all of the comps in that area and it pulls up the latitude, longitude of your property. And now let's go. It's a 5-acre property, Ron. So let's go. Yeah, 3.5 to 6 or something, 4 to 6. And we can
This is
even go a little bit.
this is a very interesting comp to me just because how close it is. So one thing that's really key when you guys are comping land, I just saw this, Dan, so I want to bring this up. One thing that's really key when comping land is fewer good comps, fewer great comps is better than a lot of okay comps. So like you want to like something like this, when you see something that's less than a mile away,
That's insane.
exact same acreage,
Hit
like
the view
this
button.
has to catch your eyes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at this. So this is a comp that sold also really recently, Dan. This is only 3 months ago. So like this comp, we need to look into very, very deeply.
Let me cut you off real quick and stay on this page just for 1 second. So we have that 30,000 from the AI comp report number, and you just start looking at these price per acres, 25, 30, 22, 23. And then
I changed it to 3.5. I'm gonna go back. Oh no,
just get rid of that 395, and that's still good.
Hold on. I think we're good. Okay, so these are only comps 3.5 to 6. I could go 6.5.
What'd you have it on before to get all the other ones?
I hit 2 on accident.
Okay, there's a 45 an acre. But so what I wanted to point out is like we had a $30,000 AI comp report, and now you see the average price 29,000. You see the median. Median's not great when you have this small. It's just cutting all the top and bottoms off. You can also sort by like days on or time and acreage and days on market and things like that too. But I think for this, Ron, we have one really good comp that wasn't in the AI comp report, 0.47 acres that just sold in October. Let's dive into that. Yep. And that view button on the market research page, you can come and dive into each one of your comps as you see there.
It's so important, guys, as you're getting properties back, as you're trying to comp properties. And for those of you who are brand new, there are a lot of ones here. Just you can still take a lot of knowledge from this if you're just getting into land or anything, because like this is the biggest gap in doing this business. It's not about getting the deals, everything like that. Obviously, that's part of it. But that being said, like learning how to comp, this is right here. Our property's right here, right here. So these properties are in the exact same neighborhood.
Hold on. So we can't follow your mouse because it's a little bit blurry. So show slowly on the map what we're talking about.
So right here where you see Julie Miller.
Yeah.
This is the subject property.
That's what we are comping.
Correct. And this is
it's in the same neighborhood.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. We have a 25,000 price per acre comp in the same subdivision. That doesn't happen a lot. We randomly guessed this. This is the comp I'd go off of. But let's go into MLS details now, Ron. So the MLS details tab up there, you'll see the history of it. You'll see the pictures. You'll see all the listings, all of that good stuff. So price change, 10, 10, 25, listed 125.
This is not a correct, unless they built a house or something.
They might have built on it and got a loan.
This is not, yeah, something's odd here. This is the actual land, though.
Yeah, that's what you want to look at because those are different. So MLS. Yeah, could have got built a house or bought the one next door. I don't know. There's 2 properties there that they own.
Yeah.
Might have been a property next door or something.
Oh, they own this too.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still if this comp was like $15,000 an acre, I'd question a little bit because there's some weird things going on in terms of the history of it. But with this comp being right along like our price, I really like this. So again,
there is weird things around, but go to the pictures. Like this is vacant land. Look at the listing.
Yeah, true.
Like this gives me extreme confidence. We know there's not a house on it or anything on this listing. I know there's something in the history there, but pictures look good. So the next thing I would do if I was actually under contract or like we're serious with this, if I was buying this property, I'd go back to our MLS page, Ron, and I'd call this broker. The number's right there on it, Ron, right?
Broker's right here, correct.
Where is it? Show me. Yeah, right there. So the broker's number's right there. I'd call that person, agent phone, broker phone. Interesting. I call that person. I'd try to get an idea on the market and everything like that if I was really serious about it. So that would be like a 4th comping option, but we can keep moving. I think that was a really good case study right here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, let's go to Zillow real fast and just see what's going on in this area as well. Because sometimes Zillow can give you a little bit better of an oversight in terms of what's going on. I don't think it's going to give us much more information. I feel pretty confident in terms of the pricing on this.
You know what's interesting there too, Ron, is we didn't have much fluctuation in comps. Like there was a 45, I think, that I saw where we could have dove in. But it really wasn't like we had an average price of 29,000 from one source and 30,000 from the comp report. It's very close together.
So you can
now, if we had a comp report of 55 and then market research, I'm like, everything's saying 25 to 30. I'd be a little bit more concerned. But when you see things line up like they did there, it gives me higher confidence for sure going into this.
Yeah, 100% agree. So we're right about, so when you're going on to a real, you can do this directly on Land Portal. I'm gonna pull up Zillow because if people don't have access to Land Portal, whatever, again, there's a free trial in the description, but I'm gonna show it on Zillow, comping the land. So we are south of Oxford, right off the highway. And this is actually the comp right here. So that's the comp. So again, the key to finding good comps is like kind land in locations. And when I say like kind land, the attributes are similar. Patrick just said that this comp looks a little superior because it's off the highway, away from noise. It might. I don't think this is gonna be a crazy busy highway, but yeah, it might. No. It might have rural. A little bit. The question is just the buyer. Yeah, that's pretty rural. The question is the buyer pool, though. But this is very similar land and obviously a very similar area. The one thing that I guess you can say is different is something like that. The road access, a little more private versus not as private. But I don't think there's going to be a huge price fluctuation there. So what you want to look at, again, like kind land and like kind location, this is by far the most similar comp. In a obviously similar location.
It goes both ways around because then you have road frontage and actual like a paved road versus a dirt road back in the neighborhood also.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have any crazy impact, especially in this area. Some areas it definitely can. I don't think this area necessarily would. But again, you go into like, I'm looking pretty wide here, guys, 2 to 10 acres. These are not going to be good comps. They're all city limits. Like it's pretty incredible that we picked a area where we have a comp right here. So for me, Dan, and when you're comping land, guys, especially in these areas, like you can look at this and see like, okay, one thing you can do is try to guess like, okay, this was listed for 125 and it sold. Do we think it actually sold for 125? It might have sold for 115, 118. I would feel confident with predicting our price of land between like 23 to $27,000, which puts us at 115 to 135, I believe. So, I mean, that's where I would be, Dan, with this property. You're not going to be able to comp, especially non-disclosure within, like, you're not going to be able to guess exactly what dollar it's going to
But once you talk to the broker, they'll get actual real sales data too with you. But one thing we don't see here, which sometimes we see, is the pending. So we only see for sale and sold in this example. Pending gives you a lot of data too because it tells you how fast this was sold. Because if this was sold, this could have gone pending in 2 weeks and then taken a few months to close, Ron, or a couple months to
messed
close.
Up. The realtors are supposed to, I think legally, they're supposed to mark when something goes pending, but they did not in this instance. Okay, cool. Let's get to some questions, guys. So essentially when you are comping non-disclosure properties or non-disclosure state properties, number one, pull up an AI comp report. Do not like, that is not like you saw, we said 30, it said $30,000. It's a good starting point, but you want to double down. You want to look at the market comp section with a Land Portal, and then you want to look at Zillow or some other real estate site. You can do that directly on Land Portal if you have it, where you can get where you can see the actual comps around it, look visually exactly what's around it. This is a good question. I'm going to get to this question since this is kind of how did you come up with 23,000? There's going to be a range. Like markets change right now. One thing we didn't look here, Dan, actually is for sale. So let me look at for sale just to make sure we don't have any very nearby comps. But for sale is really important. There's nothing. There's one on the river. Might have been the property we saw in Land Portal. So $23,000 to $27,000 is what I said. So, I mean, there's just markets change. Like you don't know the reality of it is in this area, get off of this. In this area, if you guys can see my mouse, I'm circling. Can you see it in?
Skippy, but a little bit.
In this area, basically Southern is we don't really have comps. So maybe the market dipped a little bit. Maybe the market went up a little bit. Maybe, again, it's a non-disclosure state. So we don't know exactly what this property sold for. We know it was listed for $25,000 per acre and it went pending. We don't know what that offer price was. We don't know what the accepted offer was. That's why there's always going to be a range here. I think it could be a little more than $25,000 an acre. I do think it could be a little less as well.
Yeah, and that's price per acre, $23,000. So what's that put us at, Ron?
Sell price 23 would put us at 115.
115. Yeah,
I think it's 115 to 135. It's not a terrible range. Like, yeah, it's not like we're dialing in. It's going to be 115 to 116.
It's crazy too, because this literally there's like no comps in this area at all. Then this is what you guys get when vacant land, especially rural Texas like this, pretty removed. It's just you'll get areas like we had a comp on our market comps that showed 0.49 or whatever miles away. Then everything else was like 14 miles away. And that's just some of the things we deal with. And you got to put emphasis on the best comp. And right now we really have one comp we feel confident with, Ron.
Real fast, because there are a couple land portal questions, Dan. So I want to get this question up. Terry asked this. Does the portal, talking about land portal, does portal include all the training you can and can you disclose cost coaching? I won't talk about the cost of coaching in terms of that. That's kind of a separate side of the team. So for land portal, if you sign up for this gets you a 7-day free trial. It's going to get you Land Portal University, where we have education coaches, everything like that. Again, this is a 7-day trial. This plan, if you sign up for this plan and you sign up today, you can get 1,000 free records. Use the coupon code APKEY. It's the name of our channel, APKEY, APKE. And you'll get 1,000 free export tokens at checkout. But all these plans will have our education within it, which is built by, created by us, along with some of the top land educators out there.
Exactly. So if you guys don't know where to start, you're new, you guys put 1s or 2s or 3s, or you put a 7 and you're trying to just elevate. We have tons. If we had more time, I would show you guys, but lots of the best coaches around are in there. We don't hold on any information back. It's a great place to get started. But like Ron said, like it's free, or if you upgrade to advanced, we'll give you 1,000 free exports so you can pool qualified leads and start marketing.
Exactly. Coupon code APKEY at checkout. I think we have 5 or 6 of those available in terms of those coupon codes. And again, that gets you education, gets you the software we just talked about just there. You can cancel anytime. All right, let me get to these questions, guys. Appreciate the engagement today. How do you find the best county in a non-disclosure state? We don't change much in terms of that. In terms of our county selection, we've done a lot of YouTube videos on county selection. I don't have one in front of me in terms that I can link, but it really doesn't change much in terms of that. The skill changes in terms of pricing, in terms of just some other nuances with the business model within a non-disclosure state, but not necessarily county selection.
Yeah, some of the main data points we look at: days on market, sell-through rate, absorption rate, and population density. You can get all that stuff in Land Portal too, like you said on that, like Ron said. And you go in, you just want to look at, and we have other videos walking through the whole process, but there's a whole market research tab in there to help you guys through that.
Best land flipping apps or sites. Obviously Land Portal, we've talked about a lot today. We use Smarter Contact or Launch Control for texting. There's a lot of different services and softwares out there. Land Portal is kind of the starting point because there's education within there. There's the data platform, skip tracing. You can do a
market research
up till like you can actually do marketing there as well. Market research, yeah, exactly. What is the next strategic move, Jay Brown? Can you elaborate a little bit what we're asking here? What you're asking here?
What's your next strategic move in land flipping? You're saying, or what do you?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I think 2026, there's going to be a lot of project-based things. There's still traditional flips. There's double closes out there to be had. There's a lot of money to be made in land. I'm really big on survey hacking right now. Unfortunately, probably don't have enough time to talk more in depth on that. But there's a lot of different strategies.
Survey hacking is working really, really well.
Amazingly. Do I need capital to start this? Minimal. I mean, you do. Yes. Like you can't really get started in this business without any capital. Save up $1,000. That's a good starting point.
That's low, but yeah.
I mean, it matters what you're doing. Yeah. Is Riverfront valued higher? 9 times out of 10. I don't want to say every single time, but if you have some water feature, something like that, it's going to help the value of land.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you was talking about your Texas property, Ron.
Yep.
That was a really nice river for sure.
Yeah, you saw it was listed for 300. Does having trees or not having trees make any difference? It definitely does, and it's situational. Like sometimes trees are very valuable and like the timber is valuable. Other times you want a building spot. Other times you want prairie land. There's it varies. Reports, Dan, you can talk about this. Do these reports work with Starter Portal?
No. All the AI stuff, there's really not any AI that will work. The starter plan will get you your lead list. You can generate some leads and stuff like that. But in terms of comping and AI reports and market research and all that, it's advanced and up.
All right. That's Terry asked that question as well. Okay, we got that. Cool. Let me see if there's any other questions here as we finish out. Can you talk about beta comp value? That is something that we were testing in terms of their kind of some machine learning within there. Superman and the trial is at, so yeah, the trial for starter is at checkout. Try for free 7 days. Yes.
What's that mean at checkout?
I guess that's when you get because it says $59 on here. All right, let me see if there's anything else. Cool. Well, next week, guys, not sure exactly what the topic is. We do this every week at 5:30 Eastern on Wednesdays to provide as much value to you guys as possible. I know we have some guests lined up, so mark your calendars. Have some guests lined up for the next few months, which I'm excited for. Other than that, have a really good